The draw has been set for the 2022 World Cup in Qatar. Canada in Group F with Belgium, Morocco, and Croatia. With James Sharman, instant analysis here to break it down. James, it felt like for a while Canada wasn't even going to get their name pulled out one of those little buckets with the balls. They were the last team picked, but you had to wait 36 years. Why not wait a little bit longer? Before we get into the group itself, to actually see the name being held by world-class soccer players and Canada being put into a group, what did that make you feel?
Yeah, I mean, even the whole laborious nonsense before the actual draw itself, right?
I love it. I love it.
FIFA do it right, don't they? They do it a certain way. And, anyway, when I saw the name mentioned there a couple of times, and you saw, the city landscape kind of rise in the sand there, it gave me goosebumps for sure. Yeah. And then the first time you heard the name mentioned, and of course, then going through this long draw, and it's so fitting, I think, Faizal, how it was the last name drawn from the bowls there, because the fans have been tortured for so many years now. It's never been easy. Why make this easy as well, right? So what a great day for Canadian soccer, for Canadian sport as well, being on the biggest stage possible. Magnificent, really, and it will be dwarfed on that day in November 23rd, I think, when they play Belgium. It'll be dwarfed, but right now, man, what a week it's been.
So let's actually talk about that now. The group itself, Canada will open their tournament November 23rd, as you mentioned, against a team that was number one in the FIFA rankings until this week. The number one team in the world until this week, Belgium. Look, it's a daunting group. I think they all would have been in some theories, right? We said, we might want this group, we might want this group, but as a draw was playing itself out, I'm like, I actually want none of these groups, and I want Canada just to be declared winners somehow, because this is nerve-wracking to me. All things considered, though, the group's not bad, James.
It really isn't. Don't get me wrong. Canada will be the underdog in this group,
for sure,
and rightly
for
so.
Sure.
But it could have been far worse. There were several tougher groups than this. I mean, listen, Belgium will get to a wonderful side. Yeah, they're aging somewhat, but they're still a Euro quarter finalist, losing to the champions, just last year, a World Cup semi-finalists 4 years ago. Croatia, just oozing class, albeit, again, an aging team. And Morocco, don't rule out Morocco. They're a solid team, unbeaten in qualification.
Sure.
Smash Congo, right? So this could have been worse. And I think it's going to be a really entertaining group. Different teams, very different teams, a lot of star power. And hopefully they'll take Canada lightly, but I suspect they won't, because they're all really well coached as well.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Beyond just having great players, there's great foundations with all these teams. These are clubs or countries, that have done it at the highest level, or at least been close to doing it at the highest level. Let's talk about the mystique of all of this for a second, right? Like Kevin De Bruyne versus Canada, Luka Modric versus Canada, Ashraf Hakimi versus Canada. I love it, man. As a soccer guy, as a guy that's grown up on this sport, it's just going to be so cool, man. And I know I'm giddy and I know I'm full of emotions, and like part of me wants to throw up, a part of me wants to just go run in the streets because this is happening. And I feel like the soccer purists, the ones that have been here for the 3 decades and even longer, feel kind of the same way.
I really wonder how it affects the mainstream sports fan now. Will they start watching European club soccer? Will they watch the Premier League because you want to see Kevin De Bruyne every week, Romelu Lukaku every week? Will they watch Spain? Will they watch Italy? You mentioned Ashraf Hakimi, probably not a household name over here, but he is one of the great wide players in world football, one of the top fullbacks at PSG. He is incredible. Romain Saïss at Wolves is a fantastic player as well. I know there's no Hakim Ziyech at the moment, but who knows? Maybe that could change.
That could change.
I know he's retired because he's fallen out with the manager, but I mean, what a player he is. So it's going to be a group oozing class. And you mentioned one of my favorites of all time, right? Is Luka Modric.
He's so good, man. He's so good.
He stands out, of course, in Croatia, but they got a lot of good players there, right? Matija Kovacic, of course, Perisic, another wide player into Milan. But Luka Modric, he looks like a Dickensian character to me, He's so diminutive, but has an engine that never quits. Still one of the best playmakers in world football as he approaches his late 30s. But, man, every game there's going to be stars, including Canadian stars in this group. So I think it's going to be a fascinating and a really close group.
We know this Canadian team has no fear. You think they're looking at this and being like, you know what? Yeah, and I was listening to Alphonso Davies on the stream. He said, look, we don't really care. We're ready, bring on the world. We want anybody we get. And then this group came about and he's like, you know what? this could be pretty good.
Yeah, you know what? Listen to John Herdman post-match. It's interesting. He says that this World Cup's really about enjoying it for this team, and that you need experience of one World Cup before you really begin succeeding at World Cup. So I think he's being realistic. At the same time, he's saying, hey, it's tournament football. Anything can happen. So he's obviously going to pump his players up to believe that they can win the World Cup. But deep down, he knows it'll be a surprise for Canada to advance in this group, right? And the rankings will tell you that alone. But still, I think most fans should be, like John Herdman, just go there and enjoy it right now. Who knows what can happen? Magic can happen here. But for your first World Cup in 36 years, just enjoy the experience and know that as a young team, a really young team, that in 4 years' time will be even better. But who knows? That they could capture the imaginations of world football and get through this group. And then, watch out. Who knows what can happen?
Final one for you, James. You talked about capturing the imagination. How do this sport continue to capture the attention of a casual fan base that's now come in, one that's so into it right now, right? They're all over the timeline complaining about the length of the ceremonies. I was like, oh, first time, eh? First time?
Yeah, exactly.
We're used to this, but we embrace that, right? We want as many people on this train as possible, but now you got like 7 months to kind of wait before this hype kind of comes back. Beyond just watching, some of the other leagues, what can fans do to keep themselves immersed into this unbelievable thing right now?
I must admit, though, I actually really look forward to ripping ceremonies like this. I look forward to experiencing, having fun with it, right? So why not? But I'll tell you, there's enough. Canada's lucky, right? We got a lot of soccer media now, a lot, and yourself included, right? From mainstream media to blogs to podcasts. I think the mainstream fans should discover these and immerse themselves in them, right? There's a lot of intelligent conversation, a lot of high entertainment as well. There's 2 big windows coming up in June and September for internationals. Now, I really believe, given their draw, given that, the way the other draws works out with England being in the same group as the USA, Mexico being in the same group as Argentina, I tell you what, there's going to be some big clubs wanting to play Canada in the next 2 windows, right, as friendlies, right? So it wouldn't surprise me at all if you see an Argentina-Canada match or an England-Canada match, or both. Who knows? I know. Think about that, right? The last time England played Canada was prior to 86 in Vancouver, and we still talk about that, right? This could happen this summer. It's going to be a huge moment. So let's not forget about it until November. Let's just start building the hype and really embracing this experience.
I know I'll be part of the contribution towards that hype. You will as well, James. Appreciate your time, man.
Thanks, mate.